Black holes have always sparked our interest, from fiction to astronomy. And since our game is about exploring space, adding a black hole makes perfect sense. So today, we're going to show you how we're bringing this amazing feature into our VR space game. If you're into astronomy or watch anything related to that, you'd know NASA released a simulation of a black hole and it quickly went viral, gaining over 1 million views in less than 10 days. This amazing simulation not only inspired us, but also gave us some great reference material. We took some key ideas from the simulation, and not to mention, experiencing their 360-degree simulation video in VR caused serious motion sickness. So from start, I made sure to not have too much motion when you fell into the event horizon. I also gathered additional references for creative and visual ideas. Here I'm using PureRef to collect all the images in one place. Now let's get into the creation of the black hole. It was really tough at first since I had very little experience with Unreal's material system. So I went on internet to seek some help. After searching on internet a bit, I found this amazing video by Arganian's Puzzle Box, in which he created the black hole from a custom C++ code which he was able to paste into custom node to use it as normal node. So naturally, I followed it step by step. I downloaded the code from Gumroad and pasted it into the custom node. Then I had to create a bunch of indexes, which was a real headache. And Unreal crashed midway randomly, removing all the parameter that I made. But after that, I made separate parameters for each index so I could change the parameters from the material instance. After all the hard work, finally came the fun part, tweaking the parameters to get a black hole that I was happy with. Before I do that, let's check out some of the important parameters so you guys can also keep up with what I'm doing. First, there's the emission parameter. It controls how bright the ring around the black hole is. Next, we have the accretion disk color. This changes the color of the disk around the black hole. We can choose different colors to match the overall look and feel of the game. Then there's the RV. This controls the basic texture of the accretion disk around the black hole. These parameters control how big the black hole and its event horizon appear in the game. The ring intensity fall-off parameter adjusts the size of the ring around the black hole. By tweaking this, we can make the ring more or less prominent. Finally, there's the texture stretch parameter. This controls how much the texture of the ring is stretched. Now let's tweak these parameters to create the perfect black hole for our game. This is what I came up with after messing around with all these parameters. As you can see, it's good, but not that great and kind of bland. But don't worry, I have some ideas to make it look better. First thing I want to do is add an HDRI. HDRI stands for High Dynamic Range Imaging. It's basically a 360° image that wraps around the scene, making it look like you're inside that image. This is how skies and distant backgrounds are made in games. So I'm going to use an HDRI to make it look like my black hole is actually in space. This should really amp up the visual appeal and make our black hole scene come to life. First, I'll enable the HDRI plugin in Unreal. After restarting, I can easily add an HDRI from the Add menu, and then I can change the size, texture, and a bunch of other settings. By default, it has a standard HDRI, but since I want it to feel like we're actually in space, I'll download a Galaxy or Space HDRI from the internet and apply that HDRI texture to the mesh. Now you'll notice that at the bottom it looks stretched out, mainly because it's a semi-sphere and not a full sphere. So to fix this, I'll change the geometry of the HDRI to a proper sphere instead of a semi-sphere. I'll apply a sphere with inverted normals, and that should make everything look just right. You might not know this, but you can actually do all of this inside Unreal. First, enable the modeling tool in your project. After restarting, go to the Modeling tab, add a sphere, and confirm it. Next, select the sphere and head over to the Attribute tab. There, choose the Normals option and you'll see an option to invert its normals. Now you can only see that sphere from inside, which we want. After doing that, I'll apply this sphere to the HDRI's geometry, but it's still stretched in some places. I'll adjust the projection center and that should fix it. Now our black hole will look perfectly situated in space. It's already looking 10 times better, but there's still something I can do to make it even more awesome. I'll add a post-process volume and make it affect the whole scene. Then I'll tweak a few settings like lens flare, saturation, brightness, and some other to enhance the overall look. This is what I came up with after messing around with Unreal's post-process volume. I think it looks a lot better than before. Now finally, I will add some finishing touch like adding a lens distortion around the event horizon and adjusting the speed of the ring. For the lens distortion effect, I would follow the same tutorial as before for the creation of Blackhole. At the end of the video, he made a lens distortion material, which I would be using. After applying the lens distortion material to the Blackhole, it was looking a little weird, but it was still looking great. As for the speed of the ring, I only needed to adjust the parameter of the ring speed. There is still a lot more things which we want to add in this game, but for today, I think it should be fine. Like and subscribe, and we'll meet in the next video.